This whole thing has caused me so much stress. I had a miscarriage on Monday,
Oh,
and
I'm
I'm not
sorry.
supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be on Beverly, but
Should have let us
this is
know.
very unfortunate. This is harassment. They have been harassing me, and I have to go through this the last few months that I'm there. This is unfair. I had to take off work, and I've had a miscarriage. I had my miscarriage on Monday. I had my paperwork. I went to the doctor on Wednesday. They said that they could not.
Today, we're diving into a tense landlord-tenant showdown at Blue Heron Point Apartments. On one side, we have the landlord claiming thousands in late fees and insufficient check charges. On the other, Melissa Katsu, who's not just disputing the numbers, but is dealing with personal turmoil that adds a deeply human element to this case. Fees, escrow, and alleged harassment collide in a courtroom drama that's part financial dispute, part emotional roller coaster. Stick around as we break down the confusing fee structures, the legal rules governing late charges, and the personal stakes that make this far more than just a numbers game. You won't believe what happens when the stress spills into real life and Melissa finally finds some support in an online community.
Case of Blue Heron Point Apartments versus Melissa Katsu.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Christopher Borden for the plaintiff.
Good afternoon. Your name, ma'am?
Melissa Katsu.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we had the opportunity to speak and review some documents. I learned of an additional issue that I want to review with my client. There is a dispute arising out of an amount my client charged that was above an amount for a fee in the lease, specifically an insufficient check fee. There were subsequent late fees. Essentially, what this case, the ledger boils down to is my client is alleging fees, June and July rent. I believe my client will have a different position on the fees after we talk today.
Gotcha.
And if we could adjourn it, perhaps 3 weeks, that would give us time to enter a conditional dismissal if the court would allow. And I would ask if you need to appear if we did have a conditional dismissal hammered out.
If everybody signed on a conditional dismissal, I wouldn't need to have you here. I would just indicate that there is, I'm not going to be good at math this time of day, but there's, it's probably about 4,000, 45 maybe, somewhere around there, in escrow. So whatever conditional dismissal you have, you want to make sure that to take that into account.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe we would just word it as court, any amounts in court escrow should be released to plaintiff and credit.
Yeah. However, I just want to make sure it's taken care of so we know that to do that.
Would you like the total?
Yeah. What is it?
$5,426.
Okay, so I was off. I told you don't let me do math this time of day on a Friday. All right. So, Ms. Katsu, did you have any questions about that?
I spoke to the lawyer. I agree with, we'll wait and get the late fees removed. So supposedly I'm only on $1,955.72. All my emails
Hold
and
on.
calls.
When you said that's what you're owing, is that after you applied the escrow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
Because right now the portal is showing I owe $8,454.52.
And there's
5426.
there's 5426. And what was your number again that you gave me?
The portal says $8,454.52.
So and you haven't put, how much is your monthly rent?
My rent is supposed to be $1,800 a month.
18? And so obviously July kicked in that figure
Right.
that year.
It's the July rent plus the EBS bill, and that includes the trash, utility, sewer, water. So that's why it came up to $1,955.70.
Gotcha. Okay. And so hold on, I just want to make sure I'm viewing this correctly. Given that there's really $1,500 or thereabouts in fees.
That's, Your Honor, I would say in dispute. And I believe my client would.
Over what period in time?
This would be since February, there's been a balance. The last time there was a zero balance was January 6th of 2023.
Whoa.
So late fees.
Yeah, I hear you, but the fees, like, how much are the fees typically a month? Yep.
Late fees are approximately $100 a month.
Okay.
There are various utilities that are approximately $45 to $50 a month.
Paid all my utilities on time.
And Your Honor, these sorts of costs are the things that I'd like to discuss with my client.
Yeah.
I believe we're close to a settlement.
And I'm gonna say this, and it's always been the posture of this court, that certainly in certain circumstances, landlords can charge their late fee. But a late fee can't be just liquidated damages, and it can't be, which is a hard thing for landlords to realize, it can't be a penalty. Late fees have to be related to the cost of collection. There's case law specifically on that point. So maybe this will aid in your discussion with your client that what they don't want me to do, which a couple complexes have done, is under court's order, give me the cost of what it is to collect and show that relationship to.
Here's where things get legally interesting. The judge is walking through the rules on late fees. A key point most viewers might miss. Landlords can't just slap on arbitrary penalties. Late fees must reflect the actual cost of collecting unpaid rent. That means if you're being charged $100 for a late rent payment, the landlord needs to justify it with real collection costs. This is why the judge is hinting that the landlord might not want to go through the trouble. It's tedious and could backfire. Melissa's case is a textbook example of why understanding these nuances is critical. Who wouldn't want to challenge a fee that may not legally exist? And it's a moment that clearly ramps up the tension in court.
Late fee charge. I don't think they want to do that. It is an onerous task and not worth it, the benefit of any of that. You okay, ma'am? Go ahead and have a seat. You all right?
Sir, this whole thing has caused me so much stress. I had a miscarriage on Monday.
Oh,
And
I'm
not
sorry.
supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be on bed rest. But
Sure, let us
this
know.
is very unfortunate. This is harassment. They have been harassing me. And I have to go through this the last few months that I'm there. This is unfair. I had to take off work and I've had a miscarriage. I had my miscarriage on Monday. I had my paperwork. I went to the doctor on Wednesday. They said that they could not see the fetus. All they seen was the sac. This is stressful, getting emails that I gotta pay court costs and I have all these late fees. And I'm just like, I don't know the outcome. I've never been through this before.
Okay, all right.
This is very stressful.
All right. Hey, Miss Katsu, I'm sorry. And let me just say this. And I know it can't alleviate any past stress you've had. I'm going to tell you right now, do not worry about it. This is all going to work itself out. I'm giving very clear signals to them where my perspective on this whole thing is. I remember when you first brought up the fees. Um, and you have to remember that sometimes people are always talking about the fees that they're charged, right? And you don't think the fees can add up and whether or not they're fair to be there. And then you find out with most people, it's not really the fees, it's that they haven't paid the rent. What I see from you and what caused me concern and why we're really set like this now is because when I asked you to, for example, put your rent into escrow, you weren't missing a beat getting it in. So that kind of thing tells me something. All right. But I would prefer that what you do is take care of yourself and we can do this. The next hearing that I said I will not make in person. You can appear via Zoom on this if it's necessary to appear. I would hope that this can all be worked out. Okay. All right. You're welcome. Was there anything else you?
The lawyer was very kind to speak to me.
Pardon?
I said the lawyer was very kind speaking to me before. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah. This kind of unfortunate thing happened. That's my entire Friday. So I get it. I get what you're saying, and it shouldn't be this way. And you get the stress comes from the notion that the sort of that basic thing that we need in life in terms of housing. Also, that's all being jeopardized, and especially if I don't understand why it's being jeopardized. That's a problem. All right, but they've got the figure on the portal. You've got the 5,400 in escrow. You're in good shape on this case. I mean, because however it works out. Okay. You're welcome. You're not related. I probably should have asked, but I don't think to any of the
Yes, ma'am.
Ann Arbor Ketchners.
That is my family.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you this, and it has no bearing on how I decide the case. So the very first time I called the case, I thought about that. I'm trying to think which one went. I think I went to high school with a couple of them anyway. So I called the name and I said, that's a unique name, but I mean, I know the folks.
Here.
Okay, so I didn't know, right? And so I'm thinking that then I don't know which appearance it was. Who's your dad? Are you
Jonas.
who?
Jonas Ketzner.
Jonas? No, I can't think of who I went. I can't.
Armor.
Is there a Ronald? No, it was.
Racing.
What about John?
That's my uncle.
John's your uncle. Okay. That's, I think, who I went to high school with. But I'm going to tell you what kind of got me was I don't remember what day it was, but my screen for looking on Zoom is over here. And I called it and I could see John's face in yours.
My favorite uncle.
Is it so? I looked at her. I said, "Yeah, she's got to be one of those Ketchners." I said, "Well, at some point, I'm just going to ask because it was driving me crazy for a while, and I don't know if you know my sister, Delphia.
They probably do.
I'm sure they do, and I had to ask her. I said, how many Ketchners are there? Because she would know better than I would. She had better memory than that. So, okay. So thank you for doing that. Because if I hadn't asked today, I would have spent the weekend like, I should have asked because I know that. And then when I would have called the case, I would have seen the face and I would say, that's a Ketchner. I just want to say something.
Thank you.
So where's John now?
Passed away.
Oh my gosh. How long ago?
Back in 2013.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna put this out. How long did you think
Your Honor, if we could have 3 weeks.
3 weeks? That's gonna put me at 28, is that right? All right, I'm gonna adjourn, I'm gonna adjourn this to July 28th, 2023, 10 a.m. And that will be via Zoom. All right, then that way we can get it done. All righty. Everybody take care. Ms. Kitson, take care of yourself, please.
Carter, she needs somebody to take you or?
I'm just gonna take it slow motion.
Okay.
You'll be good?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't be falling out in my hallway, you hear me? All right, okay, take care, have a good weekend. 14A.
Please subscribe to help the channel.
In the end, this case highlights the intersection of legal procedure and human experience. Melissa's proactive approach, placing rent into escrow and challenging fees, ensured her financial protection, while the judge provided clarity on what landlords can legally charge. The final adjournment allows both sides time to resolve the dispute, and it's a reminder that courtroom outcomes are shaped not just by rules, but by preparation and documentation. From emotional distress to precise fee disputes, this case offers a blueprint for tenants and landlords alike. If you found this case as compelling as we did, don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more insightful courtroom breakdowns that uncover the drama behind the numbers.